But that's exactly the constant throughout this entire collection.
What I love about that is it's almost like if you think about putting a piece of lace down over top of your foundation color, as Therese was saying, it allows that foundation really to permeate through and create almost a new color.
Exactly. And I've actually got a beautiful finished model to share with you, so if I can have Lacey and Jonathan come forward with me. Woo! I know, I got the lucky one, right? So we'll start with Lacey. So Lacey is a finished effect of exactly what I started with. Lacey's all over with a high lift pearl ash. That's what we're looking at, that really beautiful beige effect. All the accents and highlights take place in the horizon. So that's exactly what we achieve, is maximum impact with really minimal foiling. We're talking 10 to 12 foils in the entire application. Her accents here are no ammonia lightener, and then we also utilized our brand new 10B. So this is, again, that really beautiful, cool beige effect. So you see the dimension, she stays very, very blonde, but it's not solid. Gorgeous. And then we have Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan. I get to touch Jonathan. That all flustered. Okay, so Jonathan was actually doing push-ups in the model room, and I think we all kind of paused for a good, like, 30 seconds. Totally forgot. Okay. What's your formula? Let's think about this. Okay, Jonathan is all over with 8 and A. Again, that foundation is 75%. This is a great application for your male clientele, because who's going to really do a full foil on a man, right? So the skip slice gives that little delineation. You see the subtle tones throughout his hair, but it's nothing too much. It's not a full head of foil. So great application for your male clientele as well. Thanks, guys.
So over here, I want to show you guys our strawberry sunrise technique. You can see that I'm utilizing that horizon shaping that Rob was talking about here on the screen. I'm utilizing just one horizon shaping centered right at that front hairline. From there, I've created a horseshoe section by just outlining the perimeter of that first horizon. So everything that falls outside of that horseshoe now becomes my foundation color, which is just a mix of our 9 copper gold with a bit of our 8C in there to really give it some depth. So within that horseshoe, I'm placing about 5 or 6 seamless diffusion foils. So I'm basically just going in, slicing out at a diagonal. I'm taking my anchor color, which is just my 8C with a bit of our 6C to give it a pop. I'm applying that right at the scalp. I'm going to paint that about a third of the way down, and then I'm going to take my no ammonia lightener and I'm going to paint that all the way through the ends of the hair. I want you to notice it's really nice turning your brush and just feather those 2 colors together. Make sure that they really diffuse into one another. So you have a nice seamless diffusion of color from scalp to ends. So like I said, I'm only going to do about 5 or 6 of these within that horseshoe. This is going to give me just a bit more diffusion throughout that interior. And then I'm going to place just solid anchor, which is again that 8C with a bit of 6C, in between those 5 seamless diffusion foils just to tie it all in together. One simple thing that I do like to check as I'm applying these foils to make sure that I have proper saturation, because isn't that the worst when you apply a foil and then you realize you didn't get it all the way through. So just simply lift those up. If it sticks to that top foil, you know that you have not applied enough. So make sure that you apply a bit more color to get that even saturation from scalp to ends.
You're going to see here what I'm doing with my slice application. I'm doing a pivotal section application, so I'm alternating my slice and my skip slice. So you'll notice I'm utilizing, again, my plexiglass board. I know some of you have seen me use this through the years. I think it came about from when I started learning how to foil. I was always very particular on what my foils look like in the hair. I always hated crinkly foils. So this board allows me to keep it very, very nice and neat. It also allows me to paint on a smooth surface. I have my next foil that's simply waiting for me. So again, for my accent formulations, I'm utilizing 7G Kenra Color Permanents for my low light accent. And from there, I'm using our brand new no ammonia lightener with a 10 volume for my skip slice. From that point, I'm going to be going in with an 8G as my overall anchor within the horizon shaping, so it's going to allow those other colors to permeate through. What I love about this is that you'll see within all the applications that we have, there's no more than 15 foils in the hair. So again, it's about maximum impact and minimal foiling. In a few moments, I'm going to share with you another way of doing some hair painting as well.
Great. So just looking over here, I've started my horizon shaping, and just as Rob said, it's all about maximum impact and minimal foiling. So I put about 5 or 6 flat foils in that horseshoe section. I'm only going to place about 10 foils within this horseshoe. So I'm going to alternate a slice and skip slice application and just apply my foundation in between. So for my slice, I'm incorporating my anchor. I'm just going to do a solid slice. And I'm going at a pivot. So you'll see as I start to apply, this is going to create a beautiful pinwheel right in the center of that horizon.
All right, so one more foil here. I'm going to share with you our formulations for our lovely golden models that we have. It's in our Blonde Horizons collection. Sophie, will you please join me on stage? Bonnie, join me on stage. So this is the Golden Sunrise application. So within Golden Sunrise, you're going to see that we have the exact same application. So it's 3 horizon shapings, 1 within the fringe, 2 in the back, and it almost, if you look at her, it almost appears that we've done a complete full head highlight, does it not? Total number of foils, 15. And again, what allows that is that skip slice application. So with Bonnie's formulation, her foundation was a combination of a 9GB. Her accent was no ammonia lightener with 10 volume, combined with her second accent was 8G. Beautiful? Really pretty. And with Sophie's hair, we did a base formulation of her foundation that was an 8G, combined with her accent of a 9GB, combined with the secondary accent of no ammonia lightener and 10 volume. And then we also tone. So I know there's that all-time question, and I hear it all the time, do I tone or do I not tone? Right? You ever had the decision, do I tone or not to tone? So I think about with toning, we have what we refer to as our rapid toners. And with rapid toners, they allow you to have full oxidation within 5 minutes. 5 minutes or less. So I always think about rapid toners as my go-to. How many of us have maybe pulled a foil out a little too soon, right? And you're looking in the shampoo bowl and you're like, I'll be right back. Right? So you put the conditioner on, whatever you have back there, and then we head into the back room, and then you say to your fellow colorist, I want you to walk by my client, but don't make it obvious. Right? You're doing one of the drive-bys. My client's looking. So with rapid toners, I simply reached for my rapid toner. What I utilized with her was a combination of our violet pearl with our golden copper rapid toner, so they're very much intermixable to create that overall nice glaze. Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
So one other thing I wanted to mention too, I'm working in my pinwheel, like I said, I'm alternating that slice and skip slice application. I want to make sure that I'm alternating where I place that skip. So I don't want to place it in the same spot every time. I want to see that diffusion throughout. So it's just going to create even more dimension for me, so I see that nice diffusion of light throughout her look. Teresa and I were actually talking probably a few days ago just about how we define the blonde category, because obviously Blonde Horizons, we're dealing with a bunch of bombshell blondes. So we know that as professionals, it's truly defined at a level 6 or higher. But
Can you imagine level 6, right? So you get your blonde client, you bring a swatch over and you say, so this is a blonde. Right.
right,
Yeah.
so we kind of chuckled about that. So Teresa brought that point up, and it's so true. And then we got into the conversation about, sometimes our clients, they don't necessarily think about that strawberry palette really fitting into the blonde category. It's always who can be the most platinum, the lightest shade of blonde. But truly, strawberry blonde is one of my favorite categories. And one of the things that I wanted to point out, especially with Kenra color, is you can take that strawberry blonde and you can make with the strawberry sunrise a very versatile color palette. So for Megan here, I chose to really ramp up her vibrancy and just give her a bit more depth. But the exact same technique is showcased here on Aslan as well.
Absolutely stunning. So Aslan is one of my favorite palettes for strawberry. We actually mixed 8C and 9G. So she's got a little copper, a little gold. Again, less than 12 highlights. And look at come on in, Ace. Look at the dimension there. Absolutely stunning. So she actually was glazed all over with a rapid toner, just like Rob was saying. So we used the GC rapid toner to really give her a pop of that gold. Absolutely stunning.
One of their makeup artists is really good, and one of their makeup
So you realize it's not all about foiling, because what is truly the rage right now? What are we all doing?
Confusing.
We're painting, right? And I know throughout this entire weekend you're going to see some amazing balayage artists. And when I first started working with balayage, you know, I was Mr. Foil, so I was like, okay, freeform, like no structure, this is going to drive me crazy. So I needed to figure out a way that the balayage application was really going to work for me. So I'm going to share with you a quick application of still utilizing the plexiglass board, which I know is not necessarily new to you. The application method within the plexiglass board is. So I'm going to be utilizing my Kenra color no ammonia lightener. And with my no ammonia lightener, I actually apply it. So I use the plexiglass board as a palette, and I put it underneath. So I simply have a nice clean palette. From there, what I like to do is, with hair painting, it's all about movement in the hair and creating that movement. So how I want to accent that is, I'm going to take my brush, and I'm going to use it underneath the board so I have a nice clean surface, and I load simply just the one side of the brush. At that point, I pick up the area that I want to create the accent pieces, and I lay that right against the board nice and taut. And I like to work more in a V shaping. So I take this and I start doing one nice clean swoop, load one side up again, create that nice beautiful V. So you're not going too heavy, so it's all about the lightness and the tension that you have on your hair. And then what I do is I'm only getting the surface area from the regrowth area, but here I want to create a little bit more dimension and movement at the bottom, so the board allows me to completely saturate. So you're thinking, okay, that's great, that's really wonderful. I've seen some balayage applications like that in the past, so not so much of a big deal. Here is what my new trick is. So we were going out, Teresa and I were getting ready to do a program, and I've always used saran wrap in the past, so we're looking for saran wrap, and it's where we went to 3 different stores, and she was in heels, and there was rain involved, and there was some complaint a little bit. And my feet hurt. So we discovered press and seal. Has anyone ever used the press and seal? Okay, so if you haven't used the press and seal, you're really missing out on something. Because with the saran wrap, somehow by the end of my balayage, I felt like I was in a cocoon, right? It sticks to you, it sticks to everybody, the client's face. So with the press and seal, I simply just lay it down, and I can see my oxidation, and it doesn't move. So it stays. So it's a very nice, clean application. And at that point, I get to drop down to my next section.
Rob's going to be the new spokesperson for Press and Seal.
What's that?
Press and Seal is the spokesperson over there.
Oh yeah, I thought she was picking on me again. Alright, so I'm just going to take my next section. Simply drop that underneath and just work with my clean palette. Just take that V shaping. Get a nice definition. You can also choose if they're overly lightened on the ends. Sometimes I like to utilize Kenra Color Demi-Permanent. A beautiful toner application for this would be 8B, just to give that nice softness, that level 8 beige. And I just pull that up and lay that down. Beautiful. Press and seal. And lay directly on top.
We tried to use those. Never even thought of using it.
Very nice.
Close to on the forum.
So you'll see within the Blonde Horizons collection, we started off, and it's very, it's almost like that dawning of that innocence. So if you think about that sunrise, what the sunrise offers, it's more of that pastel-y tones, still offering that diffusion and that subtle delineation. But as we progress into sunsets, you're going to see things get a little bit more extreme and a little bit more sexy, if you will. So we'll be right back with Horizons at Dusk.
Functioning and it looks like the board added like a nut.
I didn't like that. I like using a board for pulling, but I use it for that one.
Like it's too bulky, it's too much to focus on. Right. Especially putting it underneath. Like, God forbid you lose your grip. Yeah, we'll try them afterwards.
I like the trick of when they were putting the saran, the plastic, how she put her finger to hold it in place, and you see a little extra samples.
I'm not tempted to go over there now so I can actually walk around.
When I'm buying, the temps can get a little hotter. So now we're working with Horizons at Dusk. And with Horizons at Dusk, we're dealing with a broader, bolder color palette. As you can see, we're working with vibrant reds, but also easily beautiful grays and brunettes that translate perfectly for between female and male. So we're going to break down each one of these formulations, but I'm going to start off with the fiery application. And with the fiery sunset application, again, we're dealing with one horizon shaping, so very, very minimal foiling work. And within this horizon shaping, I'm actually going to be working with a pivotal skip slice application as well. So I'm going to pivot a large pivotal section, starting just at the crown, and I'm going to be pivoting my foils all the way around, starting from one point, one fixed point. So I'll be alternating a slice and a skip slice application. My formulation, her foundation, as you see on all the exterior, is a combination of 5R and 6C. From there, I'm going to be accenting with a combination of 6RR and 7RR within my alternating slice, skip slice application. A couple foils here for you.
That's the kind of hair I have on a daily basis.
Let me actually bring up Jen and Steph. Why don't you come on up here and join me?
90% of my clientele.
So you'll see here, we're talking about versatility within this collection. And again, what's important to me when we're designing these collections is making sure that it's not one size fits all. So meaning that, or it is more of one size fits all, meaning that you have that versatility. So you can take this one horizon section and utilize it on shorter textured hair or longer textured hair. Both of these ladies have the exact same application method of the fiery sunset. Their formulations are varied slightly, but you can see you get a complete difference. And you can see that you're getting a lot of that, turn your head down for me, a lot of that nice diffusion of light, allowing almost what the entire theme here is to shine through. Beautiful.
Gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful.
So for the sienna sunset over here, we'll just chat about her real quick. We're still incorporating that horizon shaping into this look. However, I've split it in two. So you can see, I'll have you just kind of go through them. I've split it in two, and as you can see on the screen, I've created two half horizons. For hers, I've placed it right at that front hairline because she has a really nice fringe that I can accent. However, if you're working with a different cut style and maybe she doesn't have a full-on fringe, you can adjust it and really accentuate her style. So for this, in the two half horizons, they are mirroring one another. So you want to make sure that they're placed touching. You're going to use a wider pivot, and we're still going to utilize that skip slice application. So you can see here I've started applying. I'm just using my no ammonia lightener. And I'll apply my anchor color, which is just going to be a 6B today in between these foils. I am pivoting starting at the apex of the round side of my half horizon, moving towards just that flat side, but it's a wider pivot. So it's just going to give me a bit more contrast, and you're really going to see a bold